Austin, Texas has a serious problem. There's like 3 tennis tournaments a year in this city. USTA, UTR, you name it. Unfortunately, I don't work for either of these entities, which leaves me with one option. That's right, I'm gonna create my own tennis tournament. Which means I'm gonna have to establish the vibe, find a venue, get players, get cool vendors for spectators, make a prize, all in the span of about 10 days. Let's see how it goes. This challenge is important to me. You see, about 2 years ago, I started playing tennis and got pretty obsessed with getting better. I would play someone new in my city every Sunday, yet I've only played 4 official tournaments and have had to drive 2+ hours for all but one of them. Just how hard can it be to put on a tennis tournament? First things first, you need to decide what kind of event do you want to have. Do you want this to be a serious tournament, like a USTA tournament where people are at each other's throats, or do you want people to have a good time? This event is our first for the brand Tango, which one of the main ideas is it takes 2 to play tennis. So this is more of a community event. We want people to have a good time. One of the most important parts about an event is the location. I'm gonna be honest, we're not planning too far in advance here, so we don't have a place booked, but I've got an idea. Eastwoods Park. Now this court is not nice. It may be the least desirable tennis court in Austin, but that's what makes it perfect. Now I have a vision. Tent here and tent here. Food in one and stringing in another. We set up chairs lining this wall and also have chairs lining the baseline. Court 2, free play. Anyone who wants to come play some tennis can play on court 2. Court 1 is where the big boys duke it out. That's the tournament court. I figure if we make it look pretty official, people will assume we have the courts booked in a permit or whatever and will kind of just leave us alone. Calm before the storm, baby. Potential storm. No one could show up, but we at least have 8 people playing. Wait. Hold up. You can't just throw an event and expect people to show up. Let's rewind a little bit. We had to make sure people were actually gonna show up to this thing, so we had to promote an event. A couple things we did: make a poster, post it on Instagram, but let's get real. That doesn't really bring people to the party. What does is food. So we collaborated with one of our friends who's doing a food pop-up jamboree. He was gonna come make Frito pies. We wanted tennis people to come as well. We got Tourline to send us some strings and had free stringing at the event too. Oh, and people love t-shirts. We made an event t-shirt. It was sick. Bang. Bang. Saps and Waterloo sponsored drinks and we had ourselves a nice spread of items. But we still needed one thing. Why not get a star player to come play in the event to entice other people to come as well? Just how much money did you take to play in the tournament this weekend?
I was told I'm not allowed to disclose that amount. It was a lot.
People are saying upwards of $10 million. Can you confirm or deny?
I can't confirm, can't deny, just gonna leave it up to speculation.
Lastly, we need to fill a bracket with players. The plan, just ask people we know. We want to prove the concept before we do this at a larger scale. A question I get often: how do you find people to play with? Keep in mind, this is a large city perspective, but Facebook groups, UTR Flex Leagues, search your city tennis ladder. You kind of got to put yourself out there to find people to play with, but it is worth it. This led us to the day of the event. Armed with coolers, chairs, and tents, we were ready to go. But would it work? Would we get shut down by the cops? Would people show up? Would the tennis be good? All of this was up in the air. The first installment of our event exceeded all expectations. Our fear that people wouldn't come did not come true, and there was tennis players and people who just wanted to come hang out and be around the game. What really ended up stealing the show, though, was the Frito pie. Our friend Zolan, aka Fratty Matheson on Instagram, made this gourmet Frito pie with some toppings that I can't even describe, and the people went crazy for this. It added a truly special aspect to our tennis event. Speaking of tennis, how was it? We had 9 players play, one play-in spot, and then a quarterfinal, semifinal, and final. Some shocking things did end up happening. Welcome back to Sports Center, where we have a shocking development. Kyle Persky, Dunlop athlete, the only sponsored tennis player at today's Tango tennis tournament, and a huge favorite because of that, has a shocking result. Let's take a look at the highlights. Shocking events. Kyle had to play a play-in game to get to this spot. Ended up winning that, but here is where you can see the wheels start to fall off. There's actually a decent chance that Kyle has never played a left-handed player in his tennis career, so Peter's serve definitely got to him early. If there's one thing that describes this set for Kyle was a distinct lack of focus. Rumor has it he had 5 Frito pies before the match. Now here he is. Peter's got 2 break points. Good movement there, but just a miss. Kyle's got a look here, but in classic lefty fashion, Peter takes him way out wide. Back down the line, nothing Kyle can do. Kyle is able to manage some pace here with a nice little backhand and force the miss to end up getting break point. He fumbles that, and then on the no ad deuce point, a controversial call. A lot of people thought it was in, and Kyle ends up losing this set 6-1.
You know, I can't say I was extremely locked in. The vibes were so high at the event that I was focused in on that regardless. It was yelled at that it was my turn to play, hadn't warmed up, hadn't done any of that stuff yet. So, you know, just a lack of focus, I think. And, you know, Peter's a mediocre player, not somebody I should have lost to. I'll just go ahead and give him credit.
The tournament was going along swimmingly. One set, no ad. This caused tight tennis, but helped things move along a lot quicker. Players were able to get their racket strung on site by Seth the Stringer with strings provided by Tourline. The intensity picked up greatly once the trophy arrived on site, and we ended up with a final of Peter versus Aaron. We're back at SportsCenter to recap the unbelievable final at the Tango tennis tournament. But what has people talking most is Peter's interview before. Finals, about to play, hydrating. How are you feeling about your tennis so far?
You know, I'm starting to get a little bit in my head about the Achilles situation, but...
Oh no, actually?
A little bit.
Does it feel fine, or?
It feels okay. I just am not, like, I'm not breaking out the first serve. I'm just going strictly second serve.
Despite the adult beverage, Peter got off to a very strong start, taking an early 2-0 lead. But then Aaron starts to fight back a little bit, and we get ourselves a solid match. We are playing an 8-game pro set with ads here, so it should be a good one. You can see Aaron's got that forehand working, has a chance to tie it back up, and it's 2-all. Peter ends up getting a game back though, back on serve, and now looking to break Aaron here. Again, kind of attacking on the return and then going after that one-hander, adding some variety, just quality tennis here, forcing the miss. Peter ends up getting that break and back on serve, looking to extend that lead. Aaron's making him move around though. Peter ends up holding, and here we have one of the best points of the match. Peter's style ended up being too much for Aaron as he ends up taking the finals 8-3 and is our first champion. That is a wrap. First event, a success. We have a winner. We had a good time, and we hope to keep doing these things, and hopefully maybe this inspires you to do something similar yourself. There's no reason why you can't do this in your city. Get people together, have fun, play tennis. There's just nothing better.